What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel! Welcome to the final Danganronpa 2 bonus. We're going to be playing Magical Girl Miracle Monomy, or whatever it's called. Going to play it the entire time because we have a lot of equipment to catch up on. In each of these categories, for sticks or wands, whatever you want to call it, for bows, for diapers, there are 20 in each category. And the way you get them is you play every stage over and over again in different difficulty settings, and hope upon hope that you can get that one drop you're looking for in every single level. The one thing I would suggest, the old man's grass skirt. That increases the chances of item drops. That includes weapons, that includes bows, that includes diapers. So guess what I'm going to do for this entire episode? We're going to go through every single stage again on every difficulty setting, and hope that we can get every single piece of equipment. This is going to take a very long time, so I hope you don't mind as we go through this game forever and ever. And yeah, I can't keep the shtick up. What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel! Welcome back to Danganronpa 2. This is the final bonus episode, and we're going to be going over the last few bits for 100%. It's been a long time coming. We've gone through the entire story. We're currently finishing up this. Thank God we're doing that in a little screen down on the right. Island mode, we've gone through this. We've gotten everybody's ending. If you wanted a bit of light reading, there's a 3-hour novel you can read. But the main thing we're going for is extras. This is what we're going to be doing, and don't think that I was wasting all my coins on all those island mode playthroughs. I've got 990 coins to deal with, so I went ahead and off-screen, I went ahead and bought the entirety of the soundtrack. Let's go ahead and put on some light music there. Because these were about 5 coins a piece. That is absolutely insane. So I went ahead and bought all those with, I think I've hit 999 coins about 3 times during this whole Let's Play. So went ahead and did some light spending. You didn't need to see this. Just know that every song in the soundtrack is on here, and I absolutely love this song. Oh, it's what I use for my end slates. But that is all that. Next thing, let's go to the event gallery. This is going to show off all the major events that happened in Danganronpa 2, and you can buy them all for 3 coins apiece. Now, I left a few of these unpurchased just so you could see the differences in prices, but if any scene has a specialty, such as this one, it changed into a cloudy scene, that means it's going to be 3 coins. Now, there are certain ones, such as this one, where the picture doesn't change. Those are 1 coin apiece. So if you have just a simple 1-frame picture, nothing's going to happen. Now, if it has a little bit of animation to it, like this one, it costs 3 coins. So you're going to want to come here with a lot of money. And let's go ahead and buy all these. That coin count is going to be going down very, very quickly. I had no idea it was going to cost this much to buy every single thing. I probably should have done a bit more in the background. But I am glad that we were able to come in and buy all these and consider this a bit of recollection. It's been quite a while since I've seen these scenes. This Let's Play has been going on for 1.5 years. Yeah, it's been going on for a very long time. And being able to see all these again, and by the way, anything that the game considers fan service is 5 coins. So all the girls in swimsuits, 5 coins. But everything after that, 3 coins apiece. Just keep that in mind. Oh, that's so nice. That's relevant now. I will be talking about that later on here in this video. Exactly what this means. But yeah, it's been so long time coming, just going through all of this, being able to purchase everything. And I do think it's kind of BS that certain scenes look oddly similar to the scene before it. Maybe like 1 frame has changed. And I don't agree that those should be as expensive, especially if it's just a 1-frame change. Like somebody's facial expression will be shifted a little bit. I do like this one, though. Get a little bit of Ibuki's background singing. Thrash metal, woo! And I do like the little spotlight effect that it has. Oh yeah, we're getting into the earlier bits of Chapter 4. I guess this would be the end of... Oh no, this is Chapter 3, and then it would go into the beginning of Chapter 4. One of the best chapters. I should say Chapter 3 was one of my favorites. Chapter 4, not so much. The fun house was a bit much. And I guess if you were to ask me what my all-time favorite one was, it would actually be a tie between Chapter 1 and Chapter 6. Those are my favorites in this game, just because so much happens. And for Chapter 1 is a brilliant introduction. Speaking of intros, go Mechamaru Nidai. And I think Chapter 6 is a fine conclusion to this story. It definitely gives you enough details to consider it a conclusion. Oh my gosh, and the carnival, got Mechamaru's clock. I guess while we're going through this, a little bit of reminiscing, I don't know which to talk about first, whether it be Danganronpa V3 or the actual anime series 3. Let's talk about V3, because I have very little to talk about that. People have been asking, do I have to play the previous games to know this? V3 is the third numbered game in the series, as its name states, but it takes place far in the future with only brief cameos with the main characters in the main game, of these main games. It's a brand new cast, so you won't see anybody familiar except for those special cameos, and it takes place...
Bye, everyone.
Aw, I'm gonna miss this. But because of its taking place in a brand new school with a brand new bunch of misfits, which, by the way, it's taking place in a gifted prison school, which should be very interesting. But as stated by the creator, it is going back to the traditional killing. It's going back to the special debates. It's going back to kids killing kids. So it should be a good time, bringing back the mystery, as opposed to the midquel, which was okay if you liked run and gun, if you like third-person shooters in your mystery novel game. But another thing that's going to be introduced, which I think is very interesting for V3, while we're getting into the ending events bits here, is actually the panic talk actions, or the new debates, where people will blatantly lie to you. Oh, by the way, I guess these are considered fan service, because these are worth 5 coins, but these are special scenes that you have to unlock, so keep that in mind when looking at prices. But V3 looks to introduce a few more simplicities and a few more gameplay elements into the trials, which I can't wait to play, especially when a bunch of people are saying their testimony at the same time. That looks very frenetic, it looks very fun, and I can't wait to play. And maybe I'll let's play it so people will stop asking. Aww, this is one of my favorites. Seeing everybody in a yukata, or maybe just a bathrobe, and setting off the fireworks. That's so nice. Looking back at these, I feel so good, and I feel a little bit bad as well. And by the way, Wizard of Monami is the only one that costs 10 in here because it's an entire story. And these would cost 1 because they're simplified pictures. It feels really weird to have a Let's Play that's been going on for this long, and I know Persona 4 Golden basically went on for the exact same length, but this one, it became one of my favorite games after playing it through for everybody else, and seeing it end is just kind of, I don't know, it feels weird to have it finally end here. But after about 300 coins, all of these events are finished. Actually, that was almost 400 coins. Wow, that was expensive. So very nice. We now have every event in the gallery. And now it's time for everything else. I always love it when games have special galleries that we can go through and just look at all the best scenes that you can see again. And this is another one of my favorite parts. Keep an eye on how much these cost. These are so expensive. 3 to 10 coins for each of these videos, but well worth it. Going back and seeing all these cutscenes again, absolutely brilliant. I love how they were all put together. Unfortunately, seeing all these murder scenes again still makes me a little sad. These are really great characters, and I hate to see them go. But this right here, this was my favorite scene from the entire game. And during the Let's Play, I wasn't even kidding when I said, seeing this right here made me want to Let's Play the Danganronpa series. Because it was shortly after the second game came out that I actually got to this point, and I was thinking, you know, how do you Let's Play a visual novel? Well, turns out there's a way. But seeing this made me realize that, yeah, I gotta show this to people. I want them to be able to see it. I want them to be able to experience it and try to figure it out themselves. Because this is awesome. So, thank you, Nagito, victim of Chapter 5. You gave me the inspiration to Let's Play this game. Now, let's head back to Miracle Girl Monami for a sec. And should be coming up here soon. It's been a lot. been a long time. Yes! Finally! Let me tell you, I've been recording for about 2 hours. Almost 2.5 hours. Just trying to find the rest of these items. And they're finally mine! And that includes going into a level, going through it all, and checking the equipment to see if I've counted to 20 yet. But here's the final count of every stick. And, of course, they have terrible stats because I've already got the best things in the game, just going through it and playing so many times. But finally, having 20 of every single of these items. It's just my best advice. Find the old man's grass skirt, wear that, go through every level, play it on easy and normal, with only the exception of the 5th level and the 6th level. Play those on hard at least once. You should be able to get what you need, because some levels, you have a better chance of getting a drop if you're playing on hard, but most of the time you could just play on easy and normal. Well, my god, that took forever. 20 of every item, we have everything, now let's head back. Finally, now for the artwork. This is the fun stuff. I actually went off screen and got a lot of this, and even during the Unlockables video, I went ahead and bought a couple of these as well. So, coming back here, a lot of you were actually mentioning that Fuyuhiko and Nekomaru looked a lot different in their beta phase, and this concept art actually turned out to be the final product, where the artists came together and they took a look at the characters, drew them one final time, and they were like, okay, this is the character, this is the design we want. And for final designs, I'm so glad they went with these. I really, really enjoy the final designs of these characters. As I said, the characters in this game are some of my favorite in any video game. They're just so alive, so amazing. Very good conversationalist. And the sign right there means we have every single thing in the gallery. Let's take one quick look at Hajime here. We've come a long way, dude. You and that crazy hair, meaning you're a main character in a Danganronpa game. So now that we have every single thing in the gallery, what on earth are we missing? Because I'm still aiming for that platinum trophy, which means I have to unlock every other trophy. So what am I missing? Well, I honestly wish this wasn't the case, but we have to get every single present. Now, for all the presents that we've unlocked so far, it's mainly just been going through every game mode. I think one gallery item, I completely forgot about this, but one gallery item is for completing the novel. It's actually the very ending when the original cast is standing in front of the plated door. That small video is the only thing you get for completing the novel. And if you go through island mode once, you get a couple special scenes with Monokuma and Monami. Those also need to be gotten. So play through island mode once, and then you get this. Now that we have all this, it's actually time to go get some presents. And I do like this. Even in the special edition of the game, there's a height difference between all the characters, including Monokuma and Monami. So any special goofs that the designers like to do, I like seeing them. And just kind of one-off jokey things like the size chart, that's still really nice. We have all the execution artwork, and we have the dot art. Oh, I adore this dot art, and seeing some for V3 makes me very excited for the game. Alright, one more thing to do. The Mono Yashin and the vending machine. Now, something I did not realize. You see over there on the right, it says quantity 1, quantity 2, quantity 0, maybe. If you have any items that you're specifically missing that you could give as just like small gifts, come to the vending machine. But the main thing is right here. These are all the presents that I've collected over our entire time in the Let's Play. We only have a few that are still marked with question marks. But, there's a small snag. The first game did not do this, the second game does. If you have an item filled out, and it has a 0 next to it, that goes against 100%. So you have to have at least one of every single item in the game. Well, let's take a look at these. We didn't actually look at these, did we? No, we didn't. Oh, so we get a little Usami strap for opening up island mode. You actually get the novel version of Danganronpa IF, finally. And, oh, we're going through all the victims now. The 3-star badge. He was only good for 3 out of 4 stars on any restaurant. Oh, Pekko's Dragon Blade. That's amazing. Wonder if it's still sharp. Ah, it's actually made of wood. Mikan's apron. I didn't think she went anywhere without that. Soaked with the smell of medicine and absolute craziness. Oh no, the Hellhound earring. Gundam, you shall forever live in my heart as one of the best characters ever made. Same with Chiaki. She was very low-key. A lot of people considered her best girl, but as a character herself, very fascinating. Oh, and this. Proof that you completed the epilogue. Goodbye, Academy of Despair. Oh, we're not there yet. We still have plenty of items to unlock. Hopefully with these 439 coins, and with being at 87%, I can hopefully just throw a bunch of coins in here and get the items I need. Now, when I was recording this, I did not know that you had to have one of every item. So you're probably going to see some duplicates and a lot of luckies. But just know you will need one of everything, so it might actually be advantageous to you to just throw one coin in at a time. It will take forever, and if you have 400 coins or 999, it will take a very long time, but just know that putting in one coin at a time actually saves you time in getting items. Because for me, I'm throwing in tons of coins, almost 100 every single time for one item. If I put in one coin every time, I have a better chance of getting that item, just based on pure chance. And I didn't realize this until I ran out of coins and had to go through island mode again and again and again and again and again. Very long and arduous process. So let's talk about something more interesting. Danganronpa 3, The End of Hope's Peak Academy. This is the anime that came out last year. This would be in 2016. Wow, I can actually say last year. This bonus episode series should have been over eventually. But this series, I get a lot of questions saying, what part do I watch first? You watch them both. I did a review of this on my review channel saying that it's really easy to watch both series at the same time because they interlock with each other. One character that you see in one series, chances are they'll show up in the other series to show some details. That you might get some background out of them. Not every character has this, but a lot of them do. So if you're going to watch it, start with Future and go back and forth between Despair. You will get the best outcome possible with that. Now, for those of you who don't know what the series is, it is a prequel and an epilogue. The Despair side shows what happens to the Danganronpa 2 cast, their time at school, and how they became Ultimate Despair. By the way, spoilers all over the place. The Future arc shows what happens after all these stories. At the end of Danganronpa 2, Makoto, Byakuya, and Kyoko, they saved Hajime and the others, and then what happened after that? Well, that's what the Future arc is. It shows what happens after they leave Hajime and the other Ultimate Despairs on the island. Turns out there's another murder game, but it's a little different. Monokuma has set up a game to where there is a traitor somewhere within the Future Foundation. So, what happens then? Well, the traitor has a special advantage. Every so often, every few hours or so, everybody falls asleep and then the traitor can stand up and kill a random person. Then you have to find out who the traitor is. If you find out who the traitor is, you win. Nobody else has to die. But as it soon becomes clear, people die in the most miraculous and deadly ways, and people have trouble figuring it out. So for about 12 straight weeks, I was glued to my computer screen because I wanted to know what would happen next. Because each episode aired per week. You would get a Future and a Despair arc episode in the same week. It was definitely a lot of fun. I know people did have problems with it. I personally had problems with it, especially a couple of bits in the end. But at a certain point, I had to stop and think to myself, you know what, it's Danganronpa. I know that's a really poor excuse to say, but it's Danganronpa. It does stupid stuff like this all the time. Have you not played the games if you're complaining about this type of stupidity? But another thing I should actually mention is it's a very brutal show. is a very violent show. In fact, I think the only reason they went to red blood is so they could do one goof on the viewing audience. And then after that, it makes no sense to have red blood. But for that one moment, they have it. So if you're a bit on the squeamish side, do not watch this show. Good God. They actually had to have TV censors for this show, which, you know, you already had the pink blood, but actually having to have blurred out screens in your show, that's some next level violence. And this right here, this image I'm showing you right now, we had this explained to us in Chapter 6 as to what this is. You actually get to see it on screen, and it is one of the most nightmarish things I've ever seen. Very well put together, mind you, but still extremely horrific. That's pretty much all I can say about the anime. I personally liked it because I felt it tied everything together. You have to give it a little bit of a grain of salt because it is Danganronpa. It's going to pull some stuff, and a lot of it you won't agree with. A lot of people did not agree with it. I've gotten plenty of complaints, let me tell you. But for the most part, with enjoyability, I loved it. That's pretty much all that's coming up for Danganronpa. There is an OVA that's strictly for Nagito that only the Japanese viewing audience has seen, or unless you go to an illegal site, you've probably seen it already. But hopefully Funimation licenses that, and we get to see it for ourselves, legally. NIS is trying to port over the entire series over to PlayStation 4, which is why 1 and 2 Reload is a thing now for PS4, so if you didn't have a Vita, you now no longer have a reason to get one. You can now play it on PS4. It's got the first and second game, it's got all the bells and whistles, so you're not missing anything. Another thing is Ultra Despair Girls, the mid-cool between 1 and 2, is also coming to PS4, because V3, the third numbered game, is actually going to be on Vita and PlayStation 4. So now you can play the entire series on PlayStation 4, and you can just throw that Vita in the trash, just like everybody else has. I'm kidding. As far as the future of Danganronpa is concerned, I really don't know what we're going to get. This is all speculation right now because V3, there's a lot that's coming, and the US audience knows nothing about. Now, I know a lot of people either speak Japanese or are able to play Japanese games and already know all the twists and turns. In fact, if you go to any fan art site, be wary that people have probably already played the game and they already know the deepest, darkest secrets. And if you know it in the comments section, keep your mouth shut. There's a reason I have to approve every comment in this series now, because people don't know when to not post spoilers. It should be all the time. You should never post spoilers, you idiots. I think we're actually coming up to the end of this. You can tell I started going with the one coin method because it was a lot easier to do instead of just putting in a bunch of coins, running out, saying fuck, and then going back to a previous game mode and trying to get a bunch of coins. This is probably the longest I've ever spent on any bonus episode just because it took so long to get all the coins necessary. But eventually, you find out the secret, you get almost every item, and then, let's see. We got this, and should be coming up here. There it is, for the Horde. Hope's Last Reward. There's the Platinum Trophy. The only thing I'm going to worry about right now is actually making that repeat rate 100%, meaning we will have no more items that we can get. And the reason that I haven't gotten that is because I've gotten a gift and have given it to another person. So that's my fault for being so polite to all the characters in Danganronpa 2. So let's see, that's a 0.87. It's a good option. Yep, 99.12, which means there is only one item left to get, and then the entire list will be filled. It's been a long time coming, and I thank you all for being so patient for all these bonuses, because for a long stretch there, nothing was happening. I was either focusing on other projects, or I knew how time-consuming it would take and never had enough time. So here's hoping 32.45. Yeah, yes! 100%! That is everything! We have gotten every gallery item. We have completed every mode. I've shown off all the different pets, because you have to. We have all the gifts, all the presents, everything. Everything is filled out. We have at least one of everything in the menu. That's it! Danganronpa 2 is now officially done. I can celebrate now. And I know how long it took for bonuses of Danganronpa 1 to come out, and I was hoping not to repeat that. Well, lo and behold, I ended up doing that anyway. But now that Danganronpa 2 is 100% done, that's all. I mean, it's kind of obvious that was all, but I need something to close this out on. So what can I actually close it out on? I was thinking maybe we could replay a little video here, and no, there's really nothing that comes to mind, but then again, there is one thing I could show once more. It's actually all the way at the bottom. It's one of the final scenes you see in the game. And it actually kind of hits home here. I know this is me being sentimental over a video game, but for something that has given me so much entertainment, and for characters that were so absolutely perfect, 10 out of 10 from my book, coming to see this one last time I think is very appropriate. So let's take a look one final time. My future lies here. Your future is never set in stone. You pave the way for your own hope. Thank you for watching Danganronpa 2. This has been a very long project. I'm sad to see it go, but I'm happy that so many of you have enjoyed it. So, what's next on the horizon? Well, currently doing a Let's Play right now, but after that, well, so many people have requested it that I guess I have no choice. Next time on Danganronpa, let's see what happened between games 1 and 2. I will see you guys then.